Hello folks, and welcome to Linux for Seniors. I am going to take you on a tour with Linux Mint 21 Cinnamon Desktop today. And we're going to talk about themes. We're going to talk about themes in a very methodical manner and full explanation manner. In other words, the video is going to be more than 2 minutes. So I highly encourage that you subscribe. Now, I did not do anything to this system at all. In other words, this is how you get it after you install it. None of my icons are custom. If you've seen some of my older videos, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. The only thing I added, of course, is the installed programs from my other desktop into here. One of them is Simple Screen Recorder, so I can bring you this video. So anyways, that is running over here. It's currently, as you can see, it is running. You can see the time changes. So let me first get this out of the way. If you are not familiar with my channel, I am going to click on Linux for Seniors. This is a new channel I just created on February 9th, 2023. My previous channel, I've had 2 people ask me this already. Linux Tips by Thor was my previous one. It is discontinued and closed. You can Google that. You can probably find the remnants of the reference I'm making. However, if you click, you'll probably find it says closed. My previous channel had over 450 videos, or 400 plus. Let's leave it at that. So my new videos are Linux for Seniors. My intent is on making simple videos for really any age. Young at heart, for people that are wanting to learn Linux, period. Now, so I'm sharing my information of being around for over 25 years with Linux. It should also be good for the distributions, because I'm not only covering one distribution, but many. Also of note, I do have comments turned on, but I am screening those, and if I find some salty language, I will delete them. If it gets bad enough, I will turn comments off, because it becomes a behemoth to try to deal with some of that. And some people, they just can't contain their tongues, and they'll do that for just no reason. Let's put it that way. But anyways, my intent is to try to give you the best experience with these videos. So I will also advocate that you watch this on the largest screen possible for you. In other words, a large screen, because your mobile screens or your smartphones and some of the tablets may be very limited in viewing size. Also, if you have a newer smart TV, for instance, I threw that in there. If you want to open up the YouTube app on those smart TVs, look me up, Linux for Seniors. You can watch my videos there. Some of the times these folks will install Linux on laptops, and if you're watching my videos on the larger screen, you can follow along. I like large screens myself. My screen that I'm filming this from is 43 inches, to give you an example. Also, if the videos are blurry, I've heard this comment before too. There's several reasons for that. If the video is just posted, as you know, YouTube is worldwide. So that means that I upload my video to a YouTube server. Most of the time they're Linux servers. And they'll have to replicate those around the world. And it takes time to do that. All of my videos are usually filmed in either 1080 or 4K, just to point that out. Now I'm going to give you the example of why am I talking about this gearbox. I'm going to click my home screen and pause this loud guy. If you're a subscriber, this basically will also run. The gearbox I'm referring to is this one right here. And you can scroll down to see what the quality is. And here's a prime example of that. So if you were to open that up in 360p, it will look kind of grainy or blurry. However, if you click that, you may have some different options. I can crank this up to 4K or 1440 or even below that. You get the idea? Okay, hopefully. Let's go back to the About screen. I have some links for you down here. There is currently 7. So DistroWatch is for if you're looking for information on other distributions, for instance, and if you're looking for mouse pointers or themes, gnome-look.org, nonprofit, is a good place to look. If you're using a standard web browser, I'll say it again, a standard web browser, you may have missed these little links up here. There's distro watches here. That little guy with the foot is gnome-look.org, and there's some others. It's not available on your mobile devices. This is the coast of Oregon, the United States, if you're curious. If you're using a standard web browser, I'm going to point to something here. So you can scroll through my videos, and they will be on a lot of different subjects. And none of my videos are, again, under 2 minutes. So I highly encourage that you subscribe. Now, as the video library grows, I think I have about 30 something in here now. It's a good idea. If you notice that it doesn't matter what I click on, there's always a magnifying glass here. Even the About screen. What is this used for? On a standard web browser, this is used to search my internal YouTube site. This magnifying glass is used to search all of YouTube, and that's what you'll normally have on your mobile devices. So if you're trying to look for my videos using a magnifying glass, you normally have to be in a standard web browser. Okay, so let me show you the example of using that. So you're watching a video on Linux Mint, right? So we're going to use Mint as our keywords, and it starts finding any videos that has the word Mint in it. This is Linux Mint XFCE desktop. This is Linux Mint with Cinnamon desktop. This is Linux Mint or Linux for Seniors that has the word Mint in it somewhere. Anything to do with that keyword. Okay? So here's one for creating web-based icons, but it has the word Mint in it. Let me give you another example, for instance. If I were to click in here and delete all that and use mouse. I'm going to look for rodents. No, I'm looking for a computer mouse. So this is going to look for anything that has to do with the word mouse. There's a video for the MX distribution or MX desktop, Pop OS. There's Linux Mint and Arco Linux and etc. You know, you can, like I said, keywords. All right. Sometimes I post fun stuff in the community tab. Well, I wouldn't call it fun. I would call it weird, maybe. But anyways, you can, if you have a smartphone with the camera on it, most do. I'll give you one example of an iPhone. If you open up your iPhone right now, you can pause this video, go grab your iPhone and point your smartphone camera at this thing. It will populate a yellow box somewhere on your screen, and you can click it, and it'll take you directly to this YouTube site. And then you can bookmark it and share it with your friends and family. Linux is for any age, by the way. I'll make mention of that. There's a lot of seniors out there, and there's a lot of young at heart people, and a lot of people that just want to learn Linux. Okay. My intent, again, is to make simple videos. That's why my videos are long. Subscribe so you can watch that in multiple stages. And now I'm going to move on, and we're going to talk about themes today. So again, I did not alter anything on this interface, so it should look exactly like yours minus this icon, which is Simple Screen Recorder recording this. So you should have those three icons there, and the Mint menu, logo, and everything else included in here. So we're going to talk about system settings. You can click it in here, and you can right click on the panel bar. This is the panel bar if you're fairly new to Mint. Okay, system settings. We're going to talk about themes today. So if you feel more comfortable, click the menu and hit that. Either way, open this up. Single click, open this up. And we're going to talk about these three boxes today. And then you can watch some of my other videos on how to add more mouse pointers if you're interested in some colorful ones. I can usually add multiple mouse pointers, usually within like 30 seconds after I set up the folders, and just drag them into a certain folder. And they'll populate automatically in here. Watch my other videos for that. We're going to talk about these and the importance of when you change this and change that and change this. Why screenshots may be your best friend. So where do I get a screenshot tool to take a screenshot of this? Well, go to your menu. The tool is already installed. You could go through accessories and through A through Z to scroll, but use your search field. SC for screenshots. Now there's several ways you can do this. I can add it to the panel. The panel again is down here. The desktop is self-explanatory, and your favorites is this area here. I could do it that way manually. I can also do two things that that are a little different than you're used to seeing maybe on other videos. I can click, drag, and drop this icon here, and then drag it downstairs. You know, there are multiple ways of doing a lot of things, folks. All right, this is still my screenshot tool. I know it looks exactly like that icon, but it is different. That's simple screen recorder, and that's a screenshot tool. So let me remove that from panel. It's just going to unpin it. It's not going to get rid of the program. Anytime you place icons in here, you can drag them and drop them anywhere. It doesn't matter where you drop them. Linux Mint knows where they go. So let me do it the normal way that most people do. So they would click this and do SC. They would right click. They would add it to the panel. Again, the panel is that thing on the bottom, or the desktop, or favorites. Favorites, again, is this menu. So I'm going to click that and add it to my desktop. Okay, why is my icon so big? Well, I'm going to give you another senior tip. If you want large icons on your desktop, right-click anywhere on the desktop, click Customize. It's the first item, icon size. Normally this is set for either normal or something smaller, right? What's the smallest? Smaller. You see the size of that thing? I'm circling my mouse over here. So for you seniors or anybody that likes large icons, larger is a good way to go. Now, if you wanted to drag this anywhere on the screen, just make sure that's turned off. Normally this is turned on. The direction just means it's going to align your icons in a vertical fashion if you have more than one icon, or in a horizontal position if you have more than one icon. In other words, cross. So I'm not really going to get into that screen today, but I just wanted to point out that this and that. Because what I'm going to do here is turn that off, make this large, click that, and drag this over to here. So I'm going to move this box and drag it over here. Not that I need it. I'm just trying to produce two boxes for you. So I'm going to double click on this thing. It's a very simple tool to use. It's a very handy one too for all kinds of things. You can actually make screenshots of your web browser stuff too. And even use the selection box to chop things out of it. But I'm going to define two things for you that you normally should use when you're doing stuff like this. So basically, before I start altering these things, it's a good idea to have a reference point, right? Just in case you need to go back, in case you made a mess of things, or just generally want to go back to where you started. So we could do screen, which is default, and it'll take a picture of everything on the screen except this box. It'll take a picture of your wallpaper. So if your wallpaper is really busy, in other words, colorful, the screenshot will have a larger file size. It'll take a picture of this box. It'll take a picture of the panel bar. It'll take a picture of the icon, but not this box. If you use window, it'll take a picture of the active window. This is the active window, not this window. It doesn't take a picture of itself, in other words. So basically this will just take a picture of this window here. Does it matter where it's at? No. The system is smart enough to find your box. If I do selection and click on that, the screen turns a different color and you can drag a box around that. You can actually open up a web page and minimize it, and while you've got some information open, you can hit selection and take the screenshot and everything turns purple or whatever color, and then you can drag a box inside of there and take a screenshot of that. But we're going to stick with two examples right now. Why am I talking about this? Because it's very important when you make system changes to have a reference point to go back to. So let me do the first one with the small screenshot. You can also include the mouse pointer if you're doing a full screenshot. I'm not going to do that. This is defaulted. And I don't even bother changing this. So really all I'm dealing with these is two windows and take a screenshot. Now under default conditions, it will take the screenshot and it will make this folder thing from the last location that you picked. If this is the first time you use this, the default will be pictures. Just wanted to point that out. Now I can't hide my extra hard drive, so just don't pay attention to those. But anyways, desktop is an option. So what I'm going to do is send this screenshot. It just has the name screenshot with PNG. It's just an image file. And desktop. I'm going to send it and it appears here. So here's a mini thumbnail. So I'm going to hit save. Okay, so right now I'm waiting for the thumbnail to build, and then I'm going to take another screenshot. Double click. And this time I'm going to take a full screenshot. I'm going to compare the two files for you. And then I'm going to send it to the same destination, desktop. And so now I am going to minimize that for a second. And first of all, I am going to right click and hit properties and leave this one up. Right click and hit properties and leave this one up. I'm just comparing how big these are. This one here is 32 kilobytes and the other one is 686 kilobytes. Big difference in file sizes. So if you're limited in hard drive space, you probably want this one. This one is the screenshot if you looked at the mini window here of this box only. Hopefully you're watching this on a large screen. Hopefully you've checked your resolution if it's blurry to make sure that you're in the proper mode while you're watching. Maybe you're watching this on the smart screen while referencing that on, maybe you got Linux Mint installed on your laptop. Let's continue. So that one is obviously huge compared to that one. Let's see what they look like. Well, I can easily see that that looks like that. Here is the real one. You notice that has no black borders. This is my actual screen for doing adjustment. This is just a screenshot. So I'm going to close that. So basically you have some extra keys and it identifies that as a file. But I can clearly see the information and all the borders. What does this screenshot look like? Well, this might be scary to some, but I can see this icon here in my screenshot. I'm just moving that around so you can see it. This one's not here because it wasn't there when I took the screenshot. But it gives me the box, whatever icons I have on my desktop, and more importantly also the panel bar and my wallpaper. So if my wallpaper was colorful, I had pictures of my children or pets or something used for wallpaper, and it's very dense, the file size will usually be in the megabyte range. Yeah, there's a big difference when taking full screenshots and small window screenshots. So we're going to eliminate that. And I'll show you where to put these in a little bit if you're wanting to save those, because I do recommend that you save your original files. So let's open this again. I'm going to right click on my panel bar this time and hit System Settings and click Themes. Now we're going to have some fun and alter things. First of all, I'm going to bring up my file manager. So your file manager for this distribution is Nemo. I have videos on doing what I'm doing right now, making icons larger. The magic button here is also drag. I like my method. Maybe some other folks don't. That's fine. Again, we have different ways of doing things. So maybe for your seniors, you may want to scroll that up. Now let's click this box here and start altering things. So if you haven't seen my video on mouse pointers, go watch that. I can usually add several themes here in a couple seconds. I'm not going to get into that today. So we're going to deal with buttons. We're going to deal with icons. We're going to deal with desktop stuff. And you're going, wow. Yes, wow it is. Linux Mint gives you a lot of different ways to decorate your desktop. And I'm going to show you a lot of ways and why there is an importance of making a screenshot just in case you need to go back to where you left off. So let's go have some fun. How about mint? Why dark red? Whoa, everything just changed. Buttons are red. The little drag bar thing is red. And you can do it my way also. Anyways. Menu. And we can try different colors. So if I were to click in here, we get different colors. We have maybe this one. Dark here, light here, kind of different combination. So let me pick a dark theme. I'll stick with that one. And then I'm going to move over to icons and let's go with high contrast. Whoa, take a look at those. Look at your panel bar. Look at your menus. Kind of weird stuff, huh? We want a solid color. How about that one? Different buttons. About that one. Or lighter color? About that one. Desktop. We got the Cinnamon desktop. It's kind of grayish looking. We have that one. And we'll go with a couple of light themes. And we got more stuff. I can be here for hours trying to play with this, but I'm not going to be here for hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the lengthy process of finding my screenshot and returning this back to where I left it. Okay, first of all, let's check. Actually, that one matched, so we're good. You remember I changed things in here. So the next one in line, I want this Mint White Aqua. Let's go find that thing. Mint White Aqua. There's a lot of stuff in here. Mint White Aqua is right here. So does that match? It looks like it does. And the next one is Mint White Dark Aqua. Mint White Dark Aqua, I think is that one. So are we back to normal? Or back to where we were? Minus the big icons, of course. I think we are. So let's look at this again. Do they match? Do you care? Well, maybe you don't. But at least I have a reference point to go back to in case I wanted to go back to the original installed theme, for instance. It even tells me the mouse pointer I took a snapshot of. Keep in mind, this is my live box. This is only a screenshot. So now I'm going to close this. So now you got an idea that you can do all kinds of experimenting. So what happens when you delete this tool? Now I'm going to draw a box around it and hit delete. It's just my way. So basically that tool is still in the menu, SC. So these are shortcuts. So I'm adding shortcuts to the desktop. You have to physically uninstall that, which you don't want to do. You want this wonderful tool. You can make screenshots of anything. When I get into some of my videos down the line, I'm going to talk about this bar down here. And if I'm talking about making panel settings and I'm altering numbers in here, okay, that's when I would advocate screenshots also. So screenshots are helpful for saving information. Now, if you wanted to save this to a folder, so I'm going to open up the Nemo file manager for a second. And I am going to advocate that you create a folder in here somewhere. So Mr. Senior is my user. Like that cute name? Anyways. Remember, you can resize these. I'm just holding down the control key while using my computer mouse, scroll wheel. So where do I want to put this screenshot? Do I want to put it in pictures or documents, or where do you want it? It doesn't matter where I put it. I'm going to put mine in documents for reference for later. I'm going to right click in this white area and hit create folder and call it screenshots. You can call this folder anything you want. You can call it X if you like. So I created in Mr. Senior documents a folder called screenshots. I'm going to open that so you can see the path here. You can also toggle this to actually see the whole path. Okay. But more importantly, I'm going to drag this file and dump it in here. Yes, you can do stuff like this. So now my desktop has nothing. It's empty. I'm going to close that. It's empty. So if I needed that for maybe later on down the road, 6 months from now, 2 months from now, I go to Documents and Screenshots, and I have that screenshot to refer back to. So it's nice to have that folder, providing you have enough hard drive space, of course. But keep in mind, if I didn't do a full size screenshot, I did a really small image. It's a very small file, but it's very clear though. I'm using that, and this. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and subscribe to Linux for Seniors and pass the word. Thank you for watching. Take care, folks.